Howdy doody. Welcome to episode 115 of TDI. This is Dr. O on the horn. To lead off, as always, I'm the Ichiro Suzuki of this podcast. But then we're following up with. Do we go with A-Rod? Do we go with A-Rod, Seattle Mariners, like 2001? Is that what we're going with, Ricky Flex?
I guess so.
So, A-Rod, how we doing, buddy? Ricky Flex on the horn.
Yes.
Best friend, boys aficionado, Star Wars aficionado, everything aficionado. How we doing?
I can't say I've been called A-Rod before in my life, but I guess today's the day. I'm doing all right. Kenobi was good. The Boys was good. I can't really complain. Still haven't seen Jurassic World Dominion, and I'm debating if I'm going to see it. I don't know. Should I see it?
So we have a potential double feature this weekend if you go see it with Pixar's Lightyear next week's review.
I don't know if I'm going to see it. I'm still debating it. I'm not a Jurassic World guy. I'm just not.
I still have not seen the second one. I've only seen bits and pieces. I've only seen bits and pieces. I was thinking about watching it yesterday, but I ended up trying to finish Stranger Things. I fell asleep again. I'm only on episode 5 of Stranger Things. I still can't finish
my God. You haven't finished Stranger Things?
No. There's a reason why we're not recapping it.
That is the reason. I didn't think of that. I assumed you finished it. Oof.
It is good. Stranger Things, it's better than Obi-Wan. I'll say it. It's better than Obi-Wan.
Like, that's an interesting take because I think it is. But if I had to pick, would I rather watch Stranger Things this season or Darth Vader and Obi-Wan? I'm picking Darth Vader and Obi-Wan.
Oh, yeah. Like, if you did, like, a character draft between the two shows, like, Darth Vader's going number one.
Right. And I still think Stranger Things.
And that's not even just because of nostalgia. It's just because, like, coolest character from either show.
It's like Stranger Things is the better show or better season of television, but I would still pick Obi-Wan to watch because of Vader, because I have to see Darth Vader and how dominant he is. It's unbelievable. This episode literally showed his like mockery of everybody else, and it was amazing.
I think we're going to lead off with Obi-Wan because I feel like we have to. That gets top billing over The Boys. Sorry, The Boys. We know you're the best show on TV right now, but Ewan McGregor, Obi-Wan, Star Wars comes first. This was the episode of delivery. They delivered in episode 5. It wasn't the best episode, in my opinion, so far. It still belongs to episode 3. But
agreed.
How did it deliver? We get backstories on mysterious new characters in the Star Wars lore. We're getting backstories on Tala. We're getting backstories on Reva, right? Third sister. And then we keep going. What else did we deliver on? No Darth Vader in the previous episode. Guess what? Even though he's not facing Obi-Wan here, we get more Darth Vader, menacing Darth Vader. Okay? So, in terms of delivering, all right, making up for last week's episode, I think Obi-Wan did just fine. Did have a couple flaws with the episode, but overall, I dug it. How about you, Ricky Flex? Initial reactions?
Yeah, definitely dug it. I think like it definitely has its flaws, but if we're just looking at it, this was more than just like a popcorn fun. This was like all about Star Wars, Obi-Wan versus Vader, even though they didn't even face off against each other. That's what drove this episode. And then it had the twists. It had twists in it and unexpected twists. Yes, the Reva twist, a lot of people suspected. Yes, I'm not talking about that one. I am talking about the implications on Tatooine at the end with Luke Skywalker. Did not see that coming. I just didn't see that coming. If you did, like, kudos to you, like, snaps to you. I was shocked. Right when I see Camille and Johnny, like, by the way, he's back, drop it, I'm like, oh boy, if Vader sees that, like, that just like that, I don't know how they're gonna swing that for episodes 4, 5, and 6. But luckily, it went into the hands of Reva, so I'm happy about that. So I'm not going to get mad on this episode, which I'm happy about.
Solid cliffhanger to end the episode for sure, with Organa talking about Luke, and then obviously the pan to Luke on Tatooine on the bed. I did also want to talk about, I missed one important, one important scene from this episode, talking about delivering from last episode and delivering from what we haven't seen so far. We get to finally see Anakin Skywalker's face, played by Hayden Christensen. We have been waiting. We have been saying, what is he getting paid tens of millions of dollars for? What is he possibly doing to earn that? It looks like he earned that bulk during this flashback sequence with him and Obi-Wan go and attack the clones. Classic rat tail, right? What do you think about the look of Anakin in this flashback sequence that they come back to multiple times this episode? Do you think they pulled it off? Does he look like young Anakin?
No, I don't think that. I don't think it works. People saying online that like they'd rather have that than the de-aging technology. I don't know about that, Jim. After seeing The Mandalorian season 2 with Luke Skywalker and season 3, I think that's good enough.
Couple touch-ups here and there, right?
Yeah,
Get rid of some of those wrinkles.
I think the makeup didn't do it for me. It didn't. The acting, I don't really care about. The look is what I cared about, and it didn't. I appreciate them trying, but I will say to counterbalance that, to make it like not disappointing, was the actual like fighting. I thought it was very good. I thought the fighting between him as a Padawan, technically still a Padawan, and Obi-Wan, very good. And I was really happy with that that reminded me of episodes 1 through 3, how the choreography with the lightsaber battles is just so much better than episodes 4 through 6. So I'm really happy they continued that. And I know you mentioned it in our show notes here, the not so subtle metaphor. I still loved it. Like
so literal.
It's literally, it's again reminding me of episodes 1 through 3. Let's just get as literal as we can, you know? So no, I liked it a lot. Yes, for me at least, they should have de-aged him a little bit. It would not have been as hard as Mark Hamill going 30 years or whatever, 40 years back in time as they did in The Mandalorian and looked that good. It was only 10 years or, oh God, 17 years. 17 years or whatever it is for episode 3.
So I guess my takeaways from that scene, that's ultimate fan service. You didn't necessarily need it. We already know the backstory of Anakin Skywalker. We know how cocky of a guy he is. We know how wise Obi-Wan is, okay, with his experience. It was just, okay, we need to show Anakin Skywalker's face. How can we do it? All right, let's parallel it with what's happening in the current episode that's taking place. I did think that the lightsaber battle, they were kind of taking notes in terms of like the showrunners here, Deborah Chow, on some criticisms of episodes 1 through 3. Sometimes the choreography was a little too much with those lightsaber battles. Looking at you, Revenge of the Sith, right, on Mustafar.
Don't you dare.
No, I'm perfectly okay with it. But they wound a little bit back on the reel, right? They pulled it back a little tiny bit, okay? Maybe you don't have the athleticism of a Ewan McGregor or an Anakin Skywalker back in the day, but it did feel like they pulled back a little bit. And the fact that they didn't de-age, I was a little shocked, just because we have seen de-aging technology used in previous Star Wars projects, right? We're talking about Rogue One. You've already talked about Luke Skywalker in Mandalorian season 2 and in the Book of Boba Fett, right? Also, I cannot forget Grand Moff Tarkin in Rogue One, but he doesn't look old. I'll give him that. Like, dude, he's been taking care of himself. We know like the dark path that Star Wars children, right, without success, like in later part of their career, what it can do. Just look up Jake Lloyd. All right. Sorry, I shouldn't have said that.
That was mean.
He's not doing well right now. Okay,
that was mean.
Yeah, sorry, but he looks good. He looks good right now. So it was cool to see him. And I think for any prequel fan and any somehow like Attack of the Clone fan, if you find it way down deep inside yourself that you like that movie, good for them.
I think
for them.
Now let me ask you a question here, Doctor. For all the hype around Hayden Christensen returning to this series, is that enough to live up to the hype? That one scene throughout this, or like that one fight, is that enough to live up to the hype?
I think so.
I think so.
Yeah, I didn't expect much from him. He hasn't done much acting. What did he do back in the day? He did after Star Wars, he was in that sci-fi movie. Was it Jumper, right?
He's been in more stuff than you think.
It's like an 2008 movie. I think Jumper was a sci-fi movie he was in. He hasn't done much acting since then. Doesn't have any like recent experience really. And so when you go up to a high stakes project like Star Wars, where fan expectations are through the roof, you want to limit his screen time. Let's put him in the garb that he wore during the prequels. Okay, before he was evil Anakin, let's put him in Attack of the Clones level, where he still had that competitive edge, and he still was under the tutelage of one Obi-Wan. I think it was perfect. The timing of this flashback, and it gave just enough. Like he didn't have to over deliver. He still had pretty much the same delivery he had from the prequel trilogy in episodes 2 and 3. I thought it was fine. I thought like the timing of it was perfect.
I forgot he was in Takers.
But am I right? Jumpers in the movie.
Yeah, that you are correct. And
I
Takers
confuse
is,
that with
2
Looper
years later.
sometimes, and I'm like, wow, what if he was in Looper instead of like Joseph Gordon-Levitt?
He's actually been in more movies, just nothing good. In
Recently,
that
what's the
decade,
most recent
2010,
thing he's been in?
2019, The Last Man.
Hmm.
And he did a movie. Like he did a movie in 2019, 2018, 2017, 2015, 2 in
Just
2014.
all indies.
Like I don't even want to say indie, just like not good.
Really, just like streaming, probably action movie.
Yeah, or VOD.
God
Like straight
damn
to
it!
VOD in the box office.
How did we let this happen to him?
It was the episodes 1 through 3,
But
man.
we've seen so many actors who go on with crappy action franchises that do well. Why couldn't we do something for Hayden Christensen?
I'm looking at his IMDb here, and I see like obviously Obi-Wan TV miniseries. Do you know the only other thing that's on his IMDb that's coming up?
Coming up,
Yeah,
Ahsoka.
right. And do you know what year IMDb says that's coming out?
23.
2027.
Okay, yeah. So it needs an update. IMDb, you were no longer trusted.
They
You're
got
now it's now Rotten Tomatoes or bust for us. No more
That's
IMDb.
crazy. IMDb, what is that? 2027. Where are they getting their information?
That's honestly atrocious in this day of technology. Like the reliancy that we have on IMDb to be so off. Watch it now. There's another pandemic that happens that pushes us to 2027. Then we're like, God damn it.
Oh God.
Driving
Well,
pods
there's
on
a new
episode 800.
strain of COVID. But also last thing, do you know how old Hayden
That was
Christensen
underrated
is?
funny. I think he's 40.
Yeah, he's 41.
I'm really good at like predicting on this podcast.
You are.
I don't know if anyone like realizes that. I'm really good at like Rotten Tomatoes score, age, all right? Except I'm pretty bad at the Stranger Things characters, if you remember from a couple episodes ago. Their actual ages.
That wasn't pretty. But no, I really did like this episode. I did like Hayden Christensen. He does look a little older, but you're right. Like he does look like a good 41. He's just not 18 like he should be in Attack of the Clones. So I would have done the de-aging, yes.
So I guess we can move on a little bit because there, as I said before, like the metaphor, it was so literal. It was just saying like over competitiveness, right? Too eager to win. And then obviously Obi-Wan has to put the man in his place. But I think we should also talk about two characters, two newcomers to the Star Wars universe. We have Tala, who is helping a former member of the Empire, we find out, okay, who is helping Jedis or move, I guess, in silence across the galaxy and into safety away from the Inquisitors. And then we had Reva. I think we should start off with Tala. What do you think about the big reveal of her character? What caused her to go from the Empire and now serve as a spy for, right? I don't know if they're called the
Empire.
No,
Rebels.
No, agent. Yeah. So yeah, the rebels, I guess. So like she like working for the rebels. What do you think about her backstory and her motivations in this episode?
I'm fine with it. I think
kind of lame.
Yeah, like I'm fine with it. It's similar to the O'Shea Jackson where it's a quick line and that's it. But unlike O'Shea Jackson, we've had this character since episode 2. We've had this character for a while now. It's like, all right, like I would have liked something more or earlier. I don't know. I think they try to intrigue us and then have a little twist there, but it's not really a twist. It's just like, oh, okay, moving on. Like shows she was with the Empire at first. She did have those beliefs. Like, I don't know. I just think you're right. It was a little lame, but at the end of the day, she's not a core character as in Vader. So I'm okay with it. I'm fine with it.
It's a little sketchy how they gave backstories and then just kill the characters immediately. They just Rogue One her ass, like right after we found out like her whole purpose. And all of a sudden she's blowing herself up.
But they have to, right? Like, they have to cover their tracks for episode 4 in Rogue One. They have to cover their tracks, so it's like
I'm just saying like obviously sacrifice no longer like pretty much like solidifying the fact that we're not going to see this character again unless Star Wars gives yet another spinoff to a minor character. But I appreciated they made an effort to give her a backstory, but honestly, you could have said nothing and it would have had the same effect. Like,
I agree.
It's just like there was no
It just
specific.
added minutes.
There's like no even names given. It's just like, oh yeah, felt bad, went to the other side. I'm like, that's it. Like you
Sick,
can't
bro.
even,
Same with everybody else.
Like, can it be a reference to a former Star Wars movie or maybe to the show that like you could throw in there, like just to have it so plain? I was like, okay. But I think we should also talk about Reva. Actually, we should gotta talk about Tala's death. Tala's death, sacrificing herself right in front of the stormtrooper so Obi-Wan can go reach O'Shea Jackson, Ice Cube Jr., and the rest of the squad, making sure they can get transit peacefully off planet. It was a little emotional seeing that robot sacrifice himself. I like that. I liked it.
I didn't love it because, like, we saw the droid like once saving Obi-Wan and like a little bit before, but like they tried to make it like bigger than what it was, I think, but it kind of worked, so I'm okay with it too. And I'm like, you have a grenade on you, why not just throw it towards the people so it's guaranteed some more kills? I didn't understand that either. Like, why would you just hold it and then
behold, it just blows up in a zillion pieces?
Like, at least like throw it.
At
least throw it, and then maybe give yourself a chance with the droid blocking for shield or something. Like, I didn't understand that. But whatever, I guess. Like, she had to, like I said, she has to die to cover the tracks.
It certainly did the job. Rest in peace, Tala. But I think we also, just natural progression here, move on to another backstory that was given in this episode. We got to talk about Third Sister. Recently granted, okay, as the next Grand Inquisitor. I believe that was at the beginning of this episode. Am I right, Ricky Flex?
Yes, sir.
Grand Inquisitor. All right. After failing Darth Vader numerous times, Darth Vader finds it in himself to grant Reva as the new Grand Inquisitor. Right, for tracking Obi-Wan, bringing Darth Vader to him and the planet that Obi-Wan is residing at until he seeks peaceful transit. We find out what many had expected, that Reva was a youngling during the killings of Order 66 by Palpatine, where we have Anakin destroying younglings, right? Master Skywalker, what are we to do? Destroyed. Destroyed.
Help us.
I knew this scene was coming. I had a feeling just because at the beginning of this episode it said, I think I'm gonna read it out loud. I tweeted it. It was like beware, there's unsettling images or depictions in this. I'm like, we're gonna see some killing of younglings, baby. That's what we're gonna see this episode.
It's like what we thought we were gonna see in the first scene of episode 1. And then this is like we gone full circle here. And that's what like kind of tipped people off to Reva being a former youngling. What I don't get is, okay, she's a former youngling. She's doing this to get revenge on Vader. So she's killed Jedi. She has killed Jedi on her quest or on her path to the Grand Inquisitor.
Yes. I had a
crazy.
Problem with this. I got multiple
problems. That's a huge, huge writing issue or plot issue, I should say. That's big.
This is like a big time. Keep your friends close. Keep your enemies closer. She wants to kill Vader. You're at the Grand Inquisitor level. You feel like this is the moment where it's actually possible. That's where I kind of buy that Obi-Wan's helping her out, because it makes sense that she would turn on him at this point. She has reached the level of Grand Inquisitor. Like, you can't get any closer to Darth Vader. But we end up finding by the end of the episode, Darth Vader's a lot smarter than she thinks, obviously, when we have the reappearance of the original Grand Inquisitor played by Rupert Friend. What I didn't like about this, Ricky Flex, is that throughout the first 4 episodes, there was such a ambition for Reva as Third Sister to take down Obi-Wan. And there seemed like there was so much passion towards it. And there seemed to be like some type of vendetta towards Obi-Wan, but there was no vendetta towards Obi-Wan. There was no hatred other than like to Anakin, because he was his Padawan master, like his master, Jedi master.
I guess the vendetta to Obi-Wan would be that he didn't save them, the younglings.
But it didn't feel like, to me, that's so not justified. Like,
I agree. I'm just saying that's the vendetta.
And they did cover their tracks, Ricky Folks, by what you just said. Because they said, where were you? Like, Reva said, where were you when this
I was
happened?
on a different planet, bro.
He was literally fighting another Sith Lord, like, during the situation with 6 lightsabers.
take
The
off.
second strongest Sith in the galaxy. At that point, probably the strongest, behind like Palpatine and Vader, who were yet to unveil themselves. So I just didn't buy that. I'm like, why did you hate him so much? Like you made it seem like, yes, you want to bring him to Vader and prove yourself, but it also seemed like there was some underlying hatred that I thought was going to be revealed with some type of backstory.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think yes, they did cover their tracks on that, but mm, it's just I don't know. Just the whole season kind of is like now in question with that character and their motives, and the fact that how dumb she thinks Vader is questionable, and how then she goes, "I don't want your help, Obi-Wan, to take down Darth Vader." Questionable,
Mm-hmm.
and then the classic, like we all knew those coming, but like we all said, like, is she really gonna be this stupid and just try to hit someone with that's so strong with the Force, the chosen one, that he won't sense her presence, trying to stab him in the back with a lightsaber? Like he's gonna feel that presence. He has the most metachlorians in his body of any being in the galaxy. He's gonna feel that. Like, what are
And
we thinking?
I like how they did that at the end with Vader. We're like, yeah, you think I'm this dumb? You think I
Yeah.
don't realize this? I feel the Force. I am the Force,
And then
right?
it's like, and it's so funny to me that he's like, she's not even worthy for me to take out my lightsaber. Like, she doesn't deserve the death by my Darth Vader's light.
Don't break down the battle yet. We're gonna do that. Do not
But
go
I'm
there
just
just
trying
real
to
quick.
say how like a much of a letdown she must have felt, and also the character at the end, just like her whole that's the Grand Inquisitor, where it literally in Sith history, you're supposed to take down like your master or whatever, and that was that like embarrassing.
Right, mentor, mentee, mentee takes down the mentor.
Yeah, on the
That's what
dark
usually
side or
happens.
whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, traditional trope in Star Wars. But before we get to that battle between Reva and Vader, because there are a couple things leading up to it that have to do with Vader. And before we get to Darth Vader in this episode, I need to say, Ricky Flicks, I think this is the best Darth Vader we've ever seen in a Star Wars project.
All right, we got to simmer down. What do you mean best? Like as in like
Wearing
character
the
development?
suit, like we talk about a
He was
movie,
walking fast for someone with no
episode
legs.
3, episode 4, Rogue One, episode 5, episode 6. In my opinion, this is the best like single project we have seen with someone wearing a Darth Vader suit, okay, and being Darth Vader. Not Anakin episode 3 where he puts on the suit for 5 seconds. This is the most like menacing, and this is exactly what I imagined Darth Vader to be when this show was first being developed, and it included the fact that Darth Vader was going to have a prominent role as the main villain. Do you disagree or agree?
I think I get what you're saying because Darth Vader, what we think of Darth Vader before this series is like, oh my God, this guy can take down anyone. He's a menace to society. He doesn't care about anything except victory, like in this literal meeting in this episode. But like, we never saw in episodes 4 through 6 really that alpha mentality from Vader. So I see that
Yeah.
side of the argument here. So I guess I would say yes, but that one ending scene in Rogue One is just all time. It's
Yes,
all
but
time. It's an all
Ricky,
time movie scene, not just Star Wars
Ricky,
scene. Movie
we
scene.
cannot forget the inclusion of the worst pun in movie history in Rogue
No, no,
One.
no. But let's
You
just.
cannot forget the worst pun in movie history.
I hope you don't choke on your aspirations.
I was gonna
It's.
put the clip in, but that was good enough. We'll keep that.
But am I wrong? We haven't like Rogue One Darth Vader scene at the end. That's the best Vader scene. Still.
Yes, scene. But like when you look back on this, Ricky, we have yet to see the second battle between Obi-Wan and Darth
I'm
Vader. But
waiting
what did we
again.
get? What happened this episode? This one, Draymond Green like motion, like tapping KD. This episode, right? Arguably was better action than episode 3. I'll tell you that. And guess what? The dialogue remains menacing. James Earl Jones still killing the one-liners in this episode. The lightsaber action is almost better in this one just because it's cooler. Snapping the Darth Maul twirling-esque Inquisitor lightsaber in half, being so powerful. He's like, take the other half, right? Let's go. You want to try and challenge me? That was alpha like, yeah, mentality. You want to bring your own ball? Let's go. Let's play, baby.
I love how much he uses the Force. it just shows how powerful he is, how
We
powerful
jumped
he is
ahead.
with the Force. Because like Jedi's, like throughout like episodes 1 through 6, even 7 through 9, it's like Jedi's use the Force like sometimes, but it's like they don't have enough power or mental strength to use it again. Where like in this episode, for example, when Reva drops her lightsaber, or no, when he throws the lightsaber to her, Vader does to her.
This
She
was
doesn't use the Force to pick it up. I always think like if I'm a freaking Jedi, I'm never bending down to pick up anything, but they always do. Why? It's because like they're saving their energy. But
like
like
a
it's
couch
like,
potato looking for the remote, which is like Force.
but yeah, exactly. Like why wouldn't you use the Force all the time? But it's because they can't because of like the energy they exude on it. But like Vader's like, no, I could freaking take down a whole ship and then also use the
Wait,
Force to battle.
wait. We gotta break. We have to lead into it. We have to lead into it. All right, because at this point, right after Tala sacrifices herself, and kills a crop of stormtroopers. Okay, Reva indicates to Vader that Obi-Wan's in there. Okay, Darth Vader does his Anakin Skywalker Episode 3 type of quick march, the fastest we've ever seen someone move in a Darth Vader suit. Not running though. All right,
Very fast.
walking through, and then finds that there are a bunch of rebels in transit trying to go to another planet. Okay, and that's where we get to see the initial start of domination from Darth Vader, but it doesn't lead to a whole lot of success. So he
Best
starts
scene in the
ripping off doors
episode.
in one of the ships. Okay. What we end up having, right, is Reva confronting Vader, and then another ship carrying the transit, right, carrying these passengers to another planet, gets away. For some reason, Darth Vader does not use the same exact tactic he just used against the second ship. Maybe he was too far away. Who knows? But then it lends to a one-on-one sequence. Reva, okay, Darth Vader obviously realizes she was a youngling. He acknowledges that in that one-on-one dialogue that makes Star Wars lightsaber battle so good. And then we could break it down from there. All right. So before we get to the actual lightsaber battle and we talk about what Vader did, ripping off those doors using the Force, stopping the ship from moving. What do you think about that whole sequence leading to the lightsaber battle?
Best scene in the episode, better than the lightsaber scene.
So good.
It was incredible. I don't know. Like you're telling me, it's like audience, like you're telling me, like if you didn't watch the episode and you're listening to this, I don't know what you're doing first of all, but also they would be like, you're telling me him taking down a ship with nobody in it and ripping doors off is better than a lightsaber battle. Yes, I am telling you that. You have to see it. Like, and it goes back to the literal metaphor. This is actually why I like. That's why I don't really mind the literal metaphor, because it really goes back to that, because he takes down the ship because he's so blinded. Literally, what Obi-Wan says. It's just like, all right, he sees that ship going away. He uses all his energy. You can see he struggled a bit to take it down. Rips off, like angrily rips off. He's like, oh, I freaking got him. But nope. And then they shift off. The other ship goes off, and it's like maybe he doesn't have the energy to take down another ship. Maybe that back to what I was saying before. So I don't know. I also agree that's kind of like iffy because he's also the almighty alpha in the universe, but whatever.
But how did you not see that ship behind the other ship?
Because he's blinded. He's blinded. Because he thinks everyone's on that one, and then nobody's on the other. They're all fit into one.
I guess that was the payoff of the metaphor. It was just, to me, too obvious. Like you could have made it a little, like the writing could have been a little bit more subtle, a little bit better. Like you got to give the audience some credit that we have some brains. We have some brains here. But leading into the final battle, as I said, Vader recognizes she was a youngling, right? Then we have the one-on-one. Vader chooses not to take out his lightsaber. He looks at the person he just anointed as Grand Inquisitor as nothing, as petty, as pathetic. And he proceeds to eviscerate her just like he did Obi-Wan, using the Force, little hand gyrations. Like we posted a tweet, short 10-second clip of hand gyrations using the Force, side to side movement, great footwork. I was literally thinking this guy could cut up a rug if he wanted to. So smooth with it, Ricky Flicks. He moved amazingly for someone that is basically has no legs. What do you think about him not using the lightsaber here? All Force, to basically dismantle Reva.
I'm all out. I'm all in for him not taking out his lightsaber. I think for me that was the best part, like second best part of the fight. It's just that he didn't even take out his lightsaber. Like I said, she isn't worthy of Darth Vader's lightsaber to die by Darth Vader's lightsaber. I love that. And then
Obi-Wan didn't take it out earlier either in the episode.
she isn't worthy. But I will say Obi-Wan, I do think will take it out against her next episode. But prediction, hot take, drive-in pod. But the best part is that all the times he used the Force against her, just saying nope, 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 and it was amazing.
I really what I wanted to do, and I might still do this. I wanted to take that video I took, put it into iMovie.
Put a song behind it.
I was gonna put like a little Bee Gees action, like More Than a Woman, or it's just like him with the hand motions where he's like boop, 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 boop. It's so good. The way he moves his hand, it just like it says it all. It's like I'm like, I thought as I was watching this, I'm like, this is how I dance. This is probably the same speed that I'm going. I turn my hips, open up really slow, and then I do my hands, boom, boom.
And the cape, he's got the cape. The cape's flying.
I let my hands do the work, right? Let my hands do the work. But yeah, I thought that was awesome. And the one-liners that he was delivering, I thought were on point. James Earl Jones, he knows what the hell he's doing. Okay, and then final reveal of the episode: Grand Inquisitor, not dead, like many people assumed. Did you predict that, Ricky Flex, that we'd see him again?
There's no way that we weren't going to see him again after just one episode or 2 episodes. He's in the second episode. He died in the second, or quote unquote died in the second episode. It was just way too little for the Grand Inquisitor. It was just way too little screen time.
Yeah, I agree. Like, it was just unlikely that he would have died in such an undramatic type of situation. Yeah, so I guess where we need to kind of wrap up this episode before we get into predictions, we have Reva wounded, similarly to probably Grand Inquisitor at the end of episode 2. We have Reva picking up a tracker, okay, that has the message from General Organa talking about Luke, okay, and how he basically needs to live if Leia does not make this trek back, right, to General Organa. So what are your thoughts on what Reva will do upon finding out this information? What's going to happen? Is she going to tell Vader? Is she going to go herself? Like, what is the situation now that Reva has this information?
Well, first off, BS how she doesn't die. Like,
she needs to die.
Vader should know better than anyone. That's ridiculous how
the Grand Inquisitor just happened.
Like, what is this? It's obviously like Disney, like making a storyline, like makes sense, but it just makes no sense from a character perspective, especially the dark side. Like, they would, like, no way they would just walk away with her breathing, or
there's opening an opportunity for a potential spin-off show. That's honestly what's happening.
Definitely. I swear to God, if we get the Reva Obi-Wan as the last battle and not Obi-Wan Vader last battle.
We're going to get the Obi-Wan Vader.
No. But as the last battle of the season, last lightsaber battle, I'm going to throw a fit.
They won't do that.
You sure?
No.
Why throw this in?
But they won't do it.
They'll show Luke at the end and then leading into episode 4. That's what I'm getting the vibe for. Obi-Wan saving Luke, and then it'll lead into
battle. It's going to be like Obi-Wan probably talking to Uncle Owen about Luke. That's the way the whole show is going to end. But I want to know, so you think Reva's going to end up having a one-on-one against Obi-Wan in the next episode? I
do. I think so. I don't love it. It's probably my prediction that I hate the most so far this season, because I think Obi-Wan might just be like, I'm not going to fight you because I know there's good in you, or something, like some wise tale. So maybe not. I don't know.
Obi-Wan is straight kicking ass next episode, bro.
Do you think he gets Inquisitor before Vader?
He's not going to fight 3 people, right? You think he's going to fight?
Well, maybe he only fights 2, and then he doesn't fight
Nanjiani has obtained a lightsaber. Maybe he jumps into the fold.
Jesus,
he was given a lightsaber. They gave it to him.
That was crazy.
I don't know. He's not fighting all 3.
But do you think he fights Reva?
She's wounded, right?
I could see him fighting.
He's fighting Vader.
Yeah.
And then beyond that, I think he would fight Reva over Grand Inquisitor.
So then the Grand Inquisitor has to die somehow, though, before episode 4.
Or maybe he's the villain of the next show. next season.
Oh, yeah, that's a good take. That's a good
That,
take.
I'm gonna hold that to my prediction. Why not? Going beyond this, any other further predictions? I guess into the final episode. We are already at the finale for Obi-Wan Kenobi. Any final thoughts before we move on to the boys?
I think. I've been thinking a lot about what we said last episode of how this season's going to end. And like they're gonna finish this without killing either Obi-Wan or Darth Vader or serious
No
injuries, how they're
duh.
gonna spin it. But now there's talk of season 2. I think it just throws everything in the rent like I don't know. It really puts the uncertainty up in the air even more so now with a potential next season, but they haven't written a next season, so it's like, and they didn't put like factor that into this season. So I honestly think everything's open right
It's
now.
going to end somewhat open for the possibility of a next season because I don't think
Right.
they've decided yet.
But still have like the possibility of if they don't do another season, it still leads into episode 4 some way. It's gonna be like a combination of those two. Open, but also lead into the episode 4.